Executive consultants, you're welcome. In our previous videos, we looked at opening up our company under QuickBooks. We explored QuickBooks, and the last one that we looked at was we're paying attention to chart of accounts. And today we are going to look at two key areas under QuickBooks, and that is going to be the suppliers and the customers, because we know very well that without those two, then there cannot be business as usual. So we'll go to our company that we created, and we are going to still pay attention to customers and suppliers. The mere fact that you can see the different activities that they influence, that calls for us to pay attention to them. So what we are going to do in today's video, we are going to see how do we create suppliers and how do we create customers. So we are going to see how do we create suppliers first. So I will come to Supplier Center. When you see what we have right here, is we have some suppliers already that already put in. But now let us see the process that we go through to create one or more. So we are going to come and create a supplier, because you must know that before you come to carry out any transaction with QuickBooks, you need to have suppliers in your system. So we are going to come and say new suppliers. And then this new supplier, the supplier name is going to be, let's say, Jumia. Jumia Traders. Or we can simply say Jumia. And then we will simply say Jumia is going to use a currency of Uganda shillings, although like we did in our preferences, we said we use more than one currencies. So we'll say this one, Jumia is going to use Ugandan shillings. And maybe the company name will be still Jumia. And then because it's a company, not an individual, so we want to go into the process of saying Mr. and then first name, last name, and all that. So we will simply leave it at that. And we come to the phone contact, which is 25, maybe 34. And then I will say maybe the email address is jumia@gmail.com. Okay, but I must warn you, and if you're doing or using this software or this package in real practice, then you need to fill up all the required information, things to do with the fax number, the alternator, the contact, and all that. So you need to fill them up. But because we are basically doing basics on how to find our ways on how to kickstart ourselves on these packages, so I will simply say next, which is additional information. And additional information, we are simply going to see the different terms that we have of payment, which kind of supplier is Jumia, and then the VAT information and all that. So we'll say their account number is 309, and then we will simply come and say their type, Jumia, as a suppliers, and then their terms. Now, what do they mean by terms? If they Jumia begin to sell us on credit, and they put us a term that if we pay in between 10 days and 30 days, they will give us a discount of 1%. If we pay in the same range, they can give us a discount of 2%. Although, because these are already predetermined by the system, you can add on yours, and then yours might be probably, let's say, 5%, and then 10 days, between 10 and 30 days. And then of course the net due, the discount percentage rate will still remain, let's say it's going to take up 5%. And then discount, if discount is paid within 0 days, so discount will come on board if discount is paid within 10 days. And once that is done, we can simply say okay. So when we say okay, you can see that we've now changed from what is here to what is new. So we can simply say, because we don't have any transaction so far with these people, we'll ignore the terms. Now, the credit limit The credit limit is basically if they give us a credit and let's say they give us a credit limit of 3 millions. So if we purchase goods from them of worth, let's say 8 millions, we will only pay 5 millions and then we'll bring the 3 millions later on. So those 3 millions are the ones that are going to be used to have another discount here when we pay between 10 or 30 days or 5. So basically, that's how it's going to be used. Now, of course, we know there are suppliers, and in Uganda, the standard right now is 18% for VAT. And I will put their VAT number, which is that, and then we will come to billing rate level. Now, the billing rate level, we will see. Are we buying for them monthly? Are we buying for them daily? Because when I come and I press new here, you can see that the billing rate level name. So these ones will basically work best fit if we are putting in our employees. So we will simply ignore this for now. And then I will come to account prefill. Account prefill is basically which accounts do you want to be associated with Jumia. So you can come and then maybe I want accounts to be associated with Jumia, perhaps accounts like stock account. So if it's not here, then you will simply have to add it here. But basically, like you can see, or you can simply say the account that I want to be associated with this is auto and truck expenses. So dependingly on the accounts that you as an administrator, you would want to associate this account with, then the supplier with, then you would select that. But remember, we said that our financial year started from 1st of July. So we'll select that, and then we'll have no opening balance because we've not yet carried out any transaction with them. And once we say okay, you can clearly see that we have our Jumia supplier here. Let us see if the person is basically an individual and the supplier's name is, let's say, Douglas. Agaba, and then we will still say this Douglas Agaba is not a Ugandan, but he's probably an European. So who is going to pay us using euros? So the moment I do that, but you must see that when I select Uganda shillings, the date is open. So I need to first of all put back to the exact month when we got the supplier. Perhaps we got him in our second month of operation. And then I come and I select this. So the company name, because it's a company, is just an individual. So I will say Mr. And then I will say Agaba. And then I will come to last name and I say Douglas. So when I do that, you can see that the system already auto-calculates. And I will put his contact, and I will put his email address, agaba@gmail.com. So once I do that, and then print on check as, Agaba Douglas. And once I do that, now the rest of the information is similar to what we had, because Agaba is also going to be our supplier, and then the terms may be Agaba hasn't given us terms, but if he gives us, then we'll know how to put them to use. I explained already the credit limit, so I'll simply put our VAT code, and I put his number, and I'll simply come back and I say, okay. So we have suppliers already at play, and that is how best we can set up a supplier. Now, let us go to our customer center. Customer center, we also have some customers already, but then let us see how do we set up customers. Now, the beauty is when you're setting up a new customer, it is a customer and a supplier center. It is more or less the same information. What is changing is the other one was a supplier, this one is a customer. So I'll start with a customer who is a company, and I'll say perhaps it is the company is Kampala Traders. And then I will say Uganda shillings, and then I will simply say we got these new customers on 1st September. And then we'll simply say company name is Kampala Traders, and I will ignore this because it's a company, and then I will come And then I'll put the same information like we've been putting when we are creating suppliers. And so, because like you can see, so I'll only put a few that we may really need to pay attention to. So this gentleman is a wholesaler. Kampala Traders is a wholesale buyer. So if it's a wholesale buyer, then I will have to select that. So the moment I say okay, then you can see that we have another customer added. So let us add another customer who is an individual, and this customer is going to be Derek. Let's use Kakoza Ivan. And we will say Kakoza Ivan. He's a Ugandan based in Australia. So he's using this money, and we got him. We need, so you see, before you select a currency, you need to select the date first. So we'll say we got him probably around, he came back to Uganda as Summer, and we got him on 30th December. So when I come, I will simply say he is an Australian. He stays in Austria. And of course, these are going to be Mr. And then his first name is Kakoza. And then his last name is Ivan. And then we'll say, so we'll still do the same. So like I've told you, the only thing that is going to change is going to be the customer name, and the rest are going to be the same. So the same way you create a supplier is going to be the same way you're going to create a customer. And if it was a school, for example, if it was a school, maybe the other bit that is important is the payment information, but still, we can still work out this when we begin carrying out transactions. So if it is a school, so you would put in students or pupils using by using the customer center, because they are your customers into the business. So I will say, okay, so we have suppliers already created, and we have customers already created. So the next thing that we need to do in our business is we need to put in stock, and we'll be seeing how do we put in stock, and which kind of stock, and how do we do if we have different kinds of stock. Like I said, we can be having a shop that is into hardware, food, and then stationery. So in the next video, we will see how do we put in such items. Executive consultants, good evening.